you for being here to learn more about peptides. My name is Jen Barsamian, and I know the most important assets that you have are your time and your health. So I applaud you for taking time tonight to learn about how peptides can help you improve your health. If you follow me, I think some of you probably follow me on social media. You know, I am very known for being non toxic, toxin free. My nickname is the non toxic mama. So we do not have a microwave. We do not have plastic in our house. I drink all of my water out of a glass bottle. We are pristine in terms of what we put in our bodies, on our bodies, and around our bodies. So for me to come to you with peptides, please know that this is something that I have heavily, heavily vetted and something that we have been using in our family for 22 years. So some of you know that my son had an autism story, and when he was deep in the thick of it, we were sourcing peptides from Russia. So the fact that I never thought, honestly, that I would live to see the day where peptides would become easy to find in the United States, that they would become almost mainstream, that you could simply get the top quality peptides available on the market quickly and safely to your own home. So that is what we are going to talk about today. And let us know in the chat, please, where you're tuning in from, if you have used peptides, what you know about peptides. And I will say this, and this is my extremely oversimplified version of what a peptide is. A peptide is recognized by your body as an amino acid with a
Is this
peptide
clean or dirty?
chain. Your body recognizes it, and when you take it orally, your body breaks it down. So you take a peptide orally, and your stomach says, "Oh, this is an amino acid," and it breaks it down. Well, here's the problem. For the peptide to work, for it to do its job, it needs to remain intact and get into your bloodstream. And this is why, for the most part, we are injecting peptides. So someone said to me today, "I do not like pharmaceuticals, Jen." And I said, "Really? This is a supplement that needs to be injected. And because of that, it is a safe, clean, effective way to signal your body to do the right thing." So Kim is going to get into all of this with you, but please know this is something that I've done deep, deep research on. Sourcing from Russia was crazy, and it really, really helped our son. And now we have a clean, safe source right here in the US. So I'm going to turn it over to my business partner, Kim Kabinski. If you think I'm a clean, non-toxic living mama, Kim is next level, even beyond me. I've known Kim for many, many years when we started out together at an organic products company. And there is nobody that I trust more with research, with finding things that are safe, effective, and good for you. So Kim, thank you so much for being on. I'm going to turn it over to you to let everybody know a little bit more.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'll just briefly go over my story and why I chose this. I started a lot of research before I actually tried peptides. I have a peptide library at this point, and my biggest complaint was perimenopause weight gain. Everything I was doing, if you looked at what I was eating, it did not equal what was happening with my weight and my body. And it was the most frustrating thing, from lifting weights and working out to eating right. And I really just felt at a dead end. And peptides were put in my path quite a while ago. I knew that it was something I wanted to explore. And I've learned to never say never, and to always live your life with an open heart and an open mind for everything. As soon as I started researching peptides, tirzepatide was specifically the first one. I actually was completely fascinated by all the research. Before I even tried peptides, I had logged in about 500 hours of research or so. And the more that I read, the more I was convinced, not just myself, but any person that hits 30 years old and maybe older should do peptides and explore tirzepatide. The research is phenomenal. It is solid. Unfortunately, we have to navigate a lot of misinformation out there. And I really ask you to be very open and use discernment because there's so much false information that is written. And these are incredibly life-changing. And I've been able to witness some of the most incredible life transformations in the last several months that I've ever seen in my life and quickly because peptides work. And I just want to just briefly touch on my story and then I put together a PowerPoint to share just so that some newbies, a lot of people aren't really familiar with peptides yet. I started with a microdose of tirzepatide and I really wasn't sure what to expect. I knew it was a heavy anti-inflammatory. I've struggled with severe arthritis in my thumbs because I'm the entrepreneur that works with my phone and it's everywhere and on me at all times. And I'm constantly using my thumbs. They stopped working and they were locking. And it was to the point where they were keeping me awake at night and the pain was radiating up my arms into my shoulders. And I knew that surgery was inevitable at some point. It actually got to be scary. I started to lose a little bit of grip strength. So I started microdosing for weight loss, right? I'm like, I know this is what I want to do. It's amazing for perimenopause. Day one, I felt it that afternoon and I went to the refrigerator and I thought, oh my gosh, I don't even know what sounds good. My brain was calm and I had no food noise and I didn't even know what to cook for dinner. I didn't even feel like eating. And I was so enamored by that. By day five, my thumbs, the arthritis pain was gone. And I'm not even like gone, not an ache in my thumbs. And I just kept thinking, this is not real. Like it's going to come back. And it has not come back many, many months later. And in fact, I don't have an ache in my body or my hands. I'm actually down 18 pounds and building muscle. And I think that when you learn that there's non-negotiables being on peptides, it's life-changing and it's game-changing. And so I'm going to bring up this PowerPoint.
While you are
I'm getting
sharing,
there.
Michelle in the comment says it's been huge for mental health also, and we hear that a lot, especially with tirzepatide. And I was going to have, I don't know if my husband, Paul, are you anywhere in the vicinity? My husband needs a hip replacement. He has bone on his hip, and he's thought that my crazy voodoo peptides, right, would never would never help him. Well, he is running around this house and he's like, maybe I don't need a hip replacement after all. So he's not feeling the pain anymore, which is absolutely remarkable. So we have stories like that all over the place. Kristen saying the way it calmed her brain is hard to explain, life changing, super for perimenopause. So yeah, there are a lot of peptide users here in the chat. All right, back to you, Kim. Thank you.
Just to throw a mental health note out there, I do have somebody dear to me on a microdose of tirzepatide, and it has completely changed her life. And she's medication free and has been for years. And it's been a long, hard battle being off medication. And tirzepatide came into her life and literally rocked her world. So, I have so many testimonies, but I'm gonna go through this because I could talk forever on that. But if you're not familiar with EllieMD yet, we are a modern telehealth platform that connects people with clinically guided peptide protocols and prescription grade wellness solutions delivered directly to your door. We aim to be science backed. We have personalized peptide therapy accessible and supportive of long term health goals such as weight loss, energy, longevity, and overall vitality. EllieMD is soon expanding into HRT, many, many more peptides coming, diagnostics and functional lab testing from home. And our CEO just dropped a little nugget that we might have some sort of wearable technology coming in the form of a ring. So that's exciting. She's not, her goal at the end of the day is to be a one-stop shop, functional health and wellness telehealth company. And I love that because the innovation that's happening and that's coming in this company is unreal. Ellie MD is all about longevity with a purpose. We're more than just a telehealth platform. It's a vibrant community dedicated to make prescription grade products affordable and accessible to everybody. And I want to just make a note as far as affordable goes, because our CEO recently dropped the price on our GLP products for the second time since I've been in the company. And I've actually never been a part of a company that has ever dropped pricing, especially in this day and age. We all see that prices go up. But why peptides matter today? Why is everybody talking about peptides? As we age, our peptide production declines and declines rapidly. We're dealing with chronic inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, accelerated aging, and it's all increasing. And the effects of our body and the ability to repair itself just shut down. Traditional approaches, such as pharmaceuticals, often treat or mask symptoms, and they're designed to blunt the signal, block the receptor, and shut down the pathway, and override the symptom. Peptides support the body's own communication systems. They represent biological signaling, cellular communication, and restoration, not suppression. The goal at EllieMD is to move toward personalized, targeted wellness solutions. These are extremely effective. They are 100% absorbed and systemically available immediately. They bypass digestion, which is why this matters, which is why you'll take a peptide and literally feel it within hours. Safety of peptides. I know a lot of people really get hung up on this, and I was too until I started to research. And so it's kind of funny when I hear people talking about peptides in a negative light. I keep thinking in my head, tell me you haven't researched peptides without telling me you haven't researched peptides. Because if you've truly researched peptides, you will understand how incredibly powerful these are. These are the future of wellness, for sure. Many peptides are bioidentical to those already in the body. Think about oxytocin, glucagon, insulin, and it goes on. They work with our existing physiology. They are designed to mimic natural signaling pathways. They're short acting and very quickly metabolized. The safety does depend on quality, sourcing, and proper use. And that is a big deal. I will get into why choose EllieMD and our proper procedures that we go to, but it does really matter where you source them. They do not accumulate in organs or tissues. There's no chemical residue or toxic buildup. And at around the age of 35 to 40, several key repair peptides drop very sharply in our body. Why choose EllieMD? First and foremost, we are a 503A pharmacy. Our pharmacy is exclusive to EllieMD. It is federally regulated and everything is made in a sterile environment. It's compounded by licensed pharmacists only. We carry an NABP certification on the pharmacy itself. Each batch exceeds USP standards for potency, purity, and sterility. They are compounded fresh to order. So these are not in pens, in boxes, made mass produced. They are literally made when a person comes in to order, the order goes in, and that's when the pharmacy makes the peptide. They are triple filtered, so they are free of dyes, heavy metals, lipopolysaccharides, contaminants, fillers, endotoxins. They're rigorously third-party tested by an unbiased source. It's a very, very thorough medical intake process. Not everybody gets approved. And I like that about this because it's at the utmost safety of the individual. You will need to be honest in the way you answer the questions on the intake form. And there is a chance that you could be declined for a peptide. We only have MDs and DOs that are hired to review all the intake forms. You have 24/7 access to a doctor-patient portal system, which is unheard of. I don't know of any other telehealth platform that offers that. All supplies are included in your order. Free shipping with precise tracking. It's like on the move tracking, so you can always see where your peptide is. And we have ongoing support, access to the EllieMD community, and weekly trainings. I've never been a part of a company that has done as much training and has as much support as this company. The market analysis for the US weight loss industry just hit 90 billion in 2023. It's driven by popularity of GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide. The global anti-aging product market was valued at 47 billion in 2023 and is expected to approach 80 billion by the early 2030s. Over 50% of adults may qualify for weight loss medications based on eligible criteria, creating a massive pool of potential clients. I hear it every day. Doctors are no longer prescribing. It's very difficult to get a microdose. And with microdose, that is not meant to be truly a weight loss um, dose, I guess. However, many people are losing the amount of weight that they need to lose if, they have a little bit of weight to lose. However, the ability to control the inflammation in the body has been a massive, massive bonus. And there aren't doctors. I have several people nonstop coming to me saying that they don't qualify. Their doctor won't prescribe anything. Well, kind of good because our peptides, we're not even in the same class as the ones that pharmaceutical industry has. And if you have questions on that at the end, we can talk about that. But there are two choices in EllieMD if you have interest in moving forward. And we always talk about choosing what goal aligns with you best. Choosing to be a customer is perfect for people that are just focused on their own personal health transformation. You have access to our clean, high quality peptides and wellness solutions, personalized protocols guided by medical oversight, and your focus would be on healing, optimization, longevity, metabolic health. There's no selling, no sharing, no business commitment. You simply just want to use the products and experience the results. But don't forget to send those referrals to Jen because the these are really life changing. And honestly, when you have your own story, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And you just start to think about people that come to mind that really could use these. Um, it's best for those who want a better mood, body composition, inflammation reduction, immune support. The list goes on, and we can work with you to help find your goals. We also, it's if you want to truly invest in your health and wellness, this is the way to go. Second is the brand partner path. And the brand partner path, honestly, is ideal for somebody that wants to make an impact, an income, and influence alongside their health and like their health journey. For me, I knew that that was the way I wanted to go because I ever since I've been in this industry and been passionate about products that I find, I want to build an army of voices that really truly want to change the lives of other people. And that's what this is all about. I'm not a gatekeeper. And if I find something that truly works, that is safe to use, and that I've personally had experience with, I'm going to share it. So, what this looks like, everything a customer receives, plus the opportunity to share EllieMD with others and earn commission. You even earn commission on your own orders. The ability to build a residual income. You have the support, the training, and systems provided. I can't describe the amount of tools, trainings, calls, and such in this company. And we have so many more incredible tools coming to us. You have the freedom to grow at your own pace, part-time or full-time. You can do this just one-on-one, just sharing from time to time. There's no quotas to meet. You become a voice for clean, ethical, and science-backed wellness. Being a part of the EllieMD community is one of the biggest bonuses as well. Attending events, which we do have an event coming, the very first EllieMD event in Houston, Texas, at the beginning of June. The trainings, the launches of new products that are continually coming and shocking us nonstop, which is amazing. But again, I said, building an army of voices and wanting to share with others. And you can really truly do this as just an affiliate where you're just putting in customers, or you can choose to build a team. But huge for entrepreneurs, health advocates, educators, business owners galore. I don't even know how many practitioners I have on my team at this point, but it's incredible. It's life changing. Um, and if you're passionate about helping other people with their health and wellness or helping them with creating an income, this is truly life changing. And there are people on this Zoom, including myself, that have been truly blessed by the income already. Um, and those who believe in clean medicine and informed choice. Here's just a snapshot of why join Team Joy. I'll let you read a little bit. I don't want to go over all of it, but I talked a lot about, the training and the support from corporate, the innovation with the products, what's coming in the future, the compensation and really, I'm actually seeing people who have never been successful in this industry just coming out of the gate and just crushing this business, because when you can offer products and I'm getting text message saying, "Oh my gosh, my hands don't hurt anymore. My depression is gone. And, my arthritis in my fingers is gone. And I've lost 5 pounds in my first week." It's like nothing else before, right? And, it's a simple business, low risk. There's no inventory. It's a turnkey business. But we are on the fastest growing team in EllieMD, and I'm going to have Joey actually talk about that a little bit, because she has been in for quite some time prior to me. And if this is truly something that you're interested in pursuing, definitely reach out to Jen, or the person that invited you tonight, which I believe is Jen. But I do want to thank you guys all for just being on the Zoom, and I'm actually going to hand it over to Joey.
My name is Joey Udovich. I started, let me kind of give you my story, because then you understand how I got to this point. Because the real purpose of me being here is truly to share my heart with you all. I'll just start by saying, whenever I'm 44, I just turned 44 yesterday. I feel better than ever. I'm going to start by saying that I've truly never felt better. But when I started approaching 40, the weight 100% wouldn't shift. And I was the person waking up at 4:30 in the morning. I'd journal, I'd write down everything that I ate, I'd work out for an hour every day. You hear people say this all the time. I'm not alone in that effort, right? But I wasn't losing weight. Okay, so that was frustrating. Fine. At the time, while I was going through that, I first of all, I taught in public education for over 10 years. I was able to leave that job, and I was making resources for teachers worldwide. And I started doing that full time in 2018. Okay, so I had that going for me, but my health was starting to kind of teeter. I had built up a huge platform on Instagram. I had 118,000 followers, and then 2020 hit. The world got a little upside down, and I did not know how to show up. I didn't know how to show up on social media. It was rough. It was a rough time. My income started to fall. This really isn't just about income, guys. I just want you to know that. This is really personal to me. So I just want to give you my story here. So my income every year was kind of getting cut in half. I'd built a life with my husband. We grew up very humbly, coal mining town, 2 little patch kids that, we didn't have anything, but I had very hardworking parents, and they instilled that in me. So my income every year is going down. I'm like, what am I going to do? Well, in 2022, my father, who is my absolute best friend, got diagnosed with stage 4 gastric cancer. And he's a very, very important part of my story and why I'm here today, because I don't have my father anymore. From November of 2022, when I brought him home from our biannual trip to Gettysburg, he's a history buff, found out that he had a tumor, and I'll just summarize by saying 2023 was pure hell. It was the worst year of my life, watching him suffer. More than any person should have to suffer. My father was a Vietnam vet. He, got exposed to Agent Orange, and he suffered his whole life, but this was his biggest battle yet. And so, like his best friend, anybody would, I was with him every single second of the way. Well, during chemotherapy, he underwent genetic testing. And during that time, he found out that he was positive for a genetic mutation called the BRCA2 mutation, and it was in fact in his blood. So he has 4 kids. We all got tested. 3 out of 4 of us tested positive. So what does that mean for me? Because this can be in men or women, just so you know that. For me, it means that I have a much higher risk of getting breast cancer, any type of female cancer, pancreatic cancer, peritoneal cancer, various cancers, but the biggest being the breast. My gynecologist said, Joey, double mastectomy, complete hysterectomy, you should have done it yesterday. And I'm like, okay. So I'm watching my dad suffer. I'm putting on weight. I'm truly eating at this point to self-soothe. I'm eating because it makes me forget. If you can relate to that, please tell me in the chat, because it is truly a mental thing. Like, I ate to forget. I ate to just self-soothe, and that's what it did for me. So I had a really bad relationship with food. I was grieving my father at this point because I could see him fading, and I was grieving who I used to be, because here I am. I didn't have what I had to feed my babies, and I didn't have what I had to carry my babies. In 2024, I decided, after I'd gained so much weight and I was in complete misery, I saw my dad healing. I thought it's time for me to heal. So a friend of mine told me about a GLP-1. I didn't care what it did. I honestly, for me, in my head, it was just I needed help. I needed help losing weight. I didn't know who I was anymore. I lost everything at that point. I felt, the sense of my father and who he used to be, and obviously, parts of myself that were really important to me. So started taking that. I started losing weight, and then took my dad in September for his PET scan. It was great. September 6th, it was great. Everything was clear. Blood work was clear. 2 weeks later, he was in the hospital. 2 weeks later after that, he was gone. So at that time, navigating all of that, I didn't show up on social media for 2 years. I was crying and asking for prayers for my father. That's how I showed up. So I wasn't creating anything for teachers. My income at that point was so bad. And EllieMD came into my life. So at that time, I was taking a GLP-1, but I wasn't telling anybody. I was, you couldn't say anything. You couldn't say anything because, everybody has judgments, and I understand that. But I came to find out that it was such a lack of knowledge on people's parts that I felt so called after watching my dad pass. My dad was such a servant man. He was such a good man. He was such a brave man, and he would do anything to help people. And truly, a pivotal point was the night that my dad passed. And I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was health and wellness. That's where my path was leading me. Education, that's who I used to be. I am going to educate, but I'm going to educate in a different way. And so I didn't know what that looked like. But then, like I said, EllieMD came into my life, and it was an automatic yes for me. Sign me up. How can I help people? So for me, what that looked like was sharing that story, sharing my path, sharing and taking that pain and giving it purpose. So on my platform, I showed up and said, hey guys, guess what? Things are going to change around here. And they changed. And I lost thousands of followers, but then I gained thousands. And with that, I was able to share my story, and now I'm hearing other people's stories. So it's been since last March, you guys, that I started this. I cannot tell you the value it has given to me in my life. Like my heart cup, right? It fills every day. I get the absolute best testimonies from people. What a beautiful way to honor my father. What a beautiful way to serve others and to serve my family. Because not only am I serving other people, I'm able to help my family financially more than I ever in a million years thought that I could do. And when I started this, I thought, like, team building, that's not for me. Like, I don't do that. Especially when it comes to like pharmaceutical stuff, that just doesn't sit right with me. But then my friend Brittany said, but Joey, you needed to hear that opportunity, right? So she was right. I needed to. It was the best yes I ever said in my life. Not only did I do the GLP-1, those doors of peptides open. I had no idea what a peptide was, number one. I didn't even know that a GLP-1 was a peptide, so I had a lot of learning to do. I never give medical advice, but I've learned a lot. So, throughout this course of the year, and it's been quite the year, very unexpected. So now, what do? I have 2 genetic mutations. I have an MTHFR mutation, which I think half the population does. I have a double. So my body doesn't methylate. I can't get rid of toxins. So for me, I suffered so much with chronic, and I mean chronic joint pain, chronic. So then once you're put into early surgical menopause, that's just amplified, right? That's amplified, brain fog, couldn't sleep, absolute misery. My emotions were all over the place. So inflammation within a month, gone. I mean, it was gone. It was gone. My face, if you get on my Instagram and see like the big scary pictures, like bigger Joey and big ugly gray underwear, things my husband wasn't even supposed to see, I'm like, it's fine. I didn't care anymore because my purpose was bigger than that. My purpose was bigger than ego. It's not about ego, and it's not about vanity. It was truly at this point, like, you know what? We're put here once to serve a purpose, and I will always want to honor my father, and in doing that, it's with health and wellness, and it's given me that opportunity to do that. And I've also helped myself, because now I take glutathione. It's a cellular detox, guys. That gave me so much energy. So that flushed out all my toxins. So all that stuff I was holding on to, chronic fatigue, where I would lay in my bed and I could not get, and I'm not kidding. I wish my husband was here because he would tell you, I couldn't get out of bed. I have 3 kids. Like, I can't, you've got to get up. You've got to do your job. It was really hard at times. Even whenever I was teaching, I remember there were times during my prep that I would lay down on my desk and fall asleep. And I was thinking, oh my God, what if my kids come in here? I didn't know what it was, but then I found out about the mutations, took the glutathione. It was like a veil was lifted. I was truly a new person between that and the GLP-1. Those are two that I will never, it's a non-negotiable for me. I will always be on a microdose. Started on the full weight loss dose, lost 40 pounds, which was great, which is really great. Shopping is a lot funner now, I gotta say. I don't dread the warm seasons. I don't know if you guys can relate to that or not, but it was like, oh my God, I don't want to put on shorts. I don't want to put on a short sleeve top. I don't, you just feel so uncomfortable in your skin. And so I don't have that anymore. And I don't suffer with the food noise. That was a big thing. Within the first week of me taking tirzepatide, which is the GLP-1 GIP on our site, I remember walking into the kitchen. It was like muscle memory. And I remember thinking, I don't need anything. For the first time in years, I could say I genuinely didn't need anything. Like, I felt satiated, I felt good. And guess what? I enjoy food more now than ever because I know that I'm not overdoing it. I'm not having that, it's like this alter ego. Food noise is a thing. It's like this other person who was like, Joey, just go have the chips. Well, you had the chips, well, you ruined it for the day. So now go have the cookies. Have 5 cookies. Maybe 10. And I'm not kidding. This was me. This was how I was with food. Well, go get the Diet Pop because that's going to be really good with this. So it was every freaking day. And I remember thinking when I walked in that week, I thought, that person's gone. Quite literally said to myself out loud, I'm free. But then freedom started showing up more, like I said, the glutathione. But now I do BPC 157, TB 500. That's the Wolverine stack. So that plus the GHKCU, that's the glow stack. But it's really, hair and skin for sure after perimenopause, postmenopause, it takes a toll. So that does help that. But my aches and pains, I have a really bad neck issue. I don't suffer from that anymore at all. I, at one point, was a surgical candidate because of my C5, 6, and 6, 7. Terrible. I don't have that pain anymore, which is really wild. Tesamorelin and tesamorelin, ipamorelin, I've taken those. So that's going to help you reduce your belly fat, which genetically, that's where we always carry our weight. I watched it shrink, which was wild. And then it also helps you to keep and preserve lean muscle. And if you're lifting and strength training, which I would recommend everybody doing if they're on a GLP-1, that helps you to get toned and tightened. So if you're looking to shrink but maintain strength, and as women, we're more prone to osteoporosis, or hormone shift, things like that. It's really important to maintain the muscle. So little things like that to make sure that you're keeping in check, and your nutrition. Make sure that you're eating your protein. People talk about hair loss with GLP-1s. Guys, it's not the GLP-1. It's actually because you're not getting the nutrition. I don't feel like I have an Ozempic face. I feel like I'm healthy. I feel invigorated. My body doesn't hurt. I have energy for my kids. I have more mental clarity. I could not have shown up, a year and a half ago and done this. I couldn't get the words out. I know I wouldn't be able to get the words out. And if you're in postmenopause or in perimenopause, you know what I mean whenever I say that. So it has completely changed my life. The business has changed my life. Peptides have changed my life, and it has changed my friends' lives and my family's lives. And I am so proud to talk about them every day, and especially with this company. I have done my homework there too. So I promise you, anything that I talk about, if it's not something that I feel okay with in my heart, I was raised with integrity, I'm not going to talk about it. This is not just any company. There are a lot of companies out there to pick from, but we're not all equal. 503A compounding pharmacy. Kim talked about all this, right? So that's important. It's FDA compliant across the board, triple filtered, third party tested. All those things, it matters. So if you're going to invest in your health, you've got to do it in a way that you feel okay about doing it. I felt kind of weird about it the first time because I'm thinking, I don't know how I feel about putting something in my body. But then I realized what it was. We're just giving our bodies back the ability to do what it no longer does well. We're triggering it and we're saying, hey, listen, you can still do that. And it works. I'm truly a testament to the power of peptides. So I'm open to any questions. I know that was a lot, and I'm sorry. I don't want to talk your ears off. I'm happy to take questions.
Thanks, Joey. There are some questions in the chat, but thank you for sharing all of that. I mean, so personal and so moving. And we really appreciate you. And I know that this has been such a game changer for your family. And I did want to say too, before we get to the questions, it's really important also where your company gets their raws, the raw materials. Not only is our pharmacy incredible, but we get our raw materials from a place that is FDA compliant also.
There's
And there
only a few
are only a
pharmacies like
few.
that. They're
And
labs. There's only a few labs that exist like that formulation. But what makes ours even better, we're able to customize by choosing an additive. So EllieMD said you can choose a methylated, and I say methylated because that's important. People with MTHFR, we can't methylate. So a methylated B12 for energy, you can put that inside of your GLP-1, L-carnitine, glycine. So these are going to help with cognitive function, muscle. How freaking cool is that? How cool is that? Like no company does that. And then to have access to the doctors, it's amazing. It's truly amazing.
sorry if anyone here is on that. Wegovy, Zepbound, Ozempic, not clean, not something that you want to be injecting into your body. You know, they took a beautiful peptide and they just ruined it by putting garbage in there. So that's Jen speaking. That's not Ellie MD speaking.
No,
All
and I
right.
will say that we have a lot of people, I can tell you, on our team that came from name brand to ours, and it was much more effective because of how it's processed. The triple filtered made specifically for you. That whole process definitely cleans everything out for sure.
Dion is saying, so Dion, I'm so glad you said that because my mom is going through this right now. She has a finger that's stuck. It's just stuck down. They call it trigger finger, and it's something with the tendons. And so Dion used BPC 157 TB 500, helped her so much, so no more problems since taking that. Megan's asking for Retta. So Retatrutide is the GLP-3. It's not legal right now. So if you are getting Retta, it's definitely not from a approved source. So we do not have that. We do not use anything that is not currently legal and within regulations. I'm seeing we no longer obsess about food. And I just want to say too, you know, there's so many other pieces to the peptide puzzle.
Would you like me to share my screen, Jen, and I can show them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
let me do
yes.
that. I have a peptide guide. I'm wondering if I put the thymosin alpha in there, but let me share really quick in here. So first of the longevity peptides, so B12 injections is methylated. So you can see like that definitely for energy. It's a skin, nails, hair, brain health, all of that's very good. Samorelin, that's going to be like your Tessa-IPA. Samorelin's not as strong as Tessa-IPA, but we're talking sleep improvement, hormone balance, energy boost. But what I think more than anything whenever I think of Samorelin and Tessa-IPA is muscle. So helping to keep your muscle and helping to build the muscle. Think of toning and tightening, okay? Samorelin capsules, I will tell you guys, anything by mouth, the bioavailability drops immediately because of the digestive process. So I highly encourage you to do the injectable. The only one that I would say is probably recommended for gut health would be the BPC 157 TB500 capsules because they were created to release in your gut. However, they can still have a systematic effect. It's just, those are the only ones that I honestly would recommend by mouth, if you want my honest opinion. I think it's a lot of money to spend when you're losing some of the benefits of it. NAD injections, super. This is one of our most popular peptides. Think energy, mood, focus, anti-aging, cellular repair. NAD nasal spray right now is out of stock. We just got a dedicated pharmacy, which is really, really exciting. And they just made their first Elate spray, which is asexual peptide. So that, with that being made, we're now able to produce other nasal sprays. So this one will be coming back. So will the synapsin that you're going to see here in a second. GHKCU, so there's your copper peptide, hair, skin, nails, reduce inflammation, anti-aging. It's for really good internal repair too. Glutathione, this is my balcony one. This is the one that I will always take. Cellular health, but there's also other things. This is reduce inflammation, skin, nails, hair, cellular. So just think detox. That one is a true detox for your body. There's the BPC 157 TB500, also known as the Wolverine stack. So it says performance optimization, gut health, repair and recovery. So you're really repairing. This could be post-exercise recovery. This could be post-surgery recovery, or this could just be aches and pains. Okay, so that's the one that I want you to think of for that. You just feel better holistically on this one. And here are the capsules. This is great for right here, gut health. So again, repair, recovery, performance, that's all true. But I think that if you really want these other things, I would go for the injectable. If you're really looking for a gut concentration, right here with the capsules. Methylene blue, this is one of our newer ones. It's for cognitive function, oxidative stress, mitochondrial health. So I feel like this one is more, like brain health driven. And I think Kristen, who's on this call, she, I believe, takes this and loves it. Synapse and nasal spray, that will be coming. That's also for brain health. The weight loss, there's a lot of these. So let me just sum this up. When you see GLP-1 and you don't see that GIP, this is called a single agonist. That's your semaglutide / Ozempic type of formulation, right? I would never recommend that one to you because it has more side effects. It takes a little longer to work. The reason I would use the GLP-1 GIP, again, faster acting, more effective, more efficient, less side effects statistically, okay? Now, for some people, they prefer this one, and that's okay. It will work. It will work. But I find that my customers end up saying, Joey, when can I get on tirzepatide? And these are 3-month commitments, and that is done on purpose so that it holds you accountable. You can't give up after the first month. You've got to keep going, because I feel like anything that is health related takes a full 3 months to see the trajectory of how your body is going to respond to it. And that's what our founder said too. She said, you know what, all 3 months are there. They're waiting for them. They can't say no to it. You have to think about your body. Sometimes when people do that GLP-1 especially, and they don't see results in the first month, they want to give up, but that's not necessarily fair. Sometimes it takes a month 2 and month 3. And again, there's different additives, NAD for some of those, microdosing, GLP-1. So microdose again is it's the smallest dose of our GLP-1 and GLP-1 GIP. And then we have sexual health peptides. So the thrill pill, it's sublingual. Not my favorite. It's not my favorite because of the taste, but it does work. It's fast acting. PT 141 injectable, you take it a little bit, like if you're going on a date, things are going to happen that night, that's the injectable. It can make you feel a little flushed, but it does work. It works. And then our newest one is the Elite nasal spray. This one, if I had an opinion, would be the best of the 3. It's gotten the best feedback. It's just a nasal spray and it works like 35 to 45 minutes.
That was awesome. Thanks, Joey. I got a private question, but it's such a good question that I feel like I need to share it with everyone, but I won't say who asked. So the question is, how many average customers would you need to help with a peptide order in order to cover your own on a monthly basis? So one of the things to note is that we get paid back on our own peptide purchases. So right off the bat, you're getting paid back a discount on your own peptide. And then if you help, it's about 2 to 3 people, depending on what they're buying. And that's going to help you to get your peptide covered. If you're on, like I love the TA1, thymosin alpha 1, and some of the less expensive peptide, it will be a lower amount of customers to get it paid. It really depends on what your health goals are.
And I forgot to mention TA1 because I have to update that guide, but that's great for immune support. You guys, if you start feeling like you don't feel well, you give yourself a shot of that, and it really is an incredible boost for your system.
It is. It's amazing. I feel like everyone should have that in their refrigerator. My friend Linda is on here, and she messaged me. I talked about TA1 online or something, and Linda's like, I always have it in my refrigerator, always. And it's great if someone's getting sick. The other thing that people really need TA1 for is autoimmune. So if you know anyone with any sort of autoimmune condition, what TA1 does is if your immune system's low, it's going to bring it up. If your immune system is high and in overdrive and autoimmune, it brings it down. So it is it's an immune system modulator, not just boosting your immune system. It's really, really cool. And we've got videos. We have incredible training. So if any of these peptides sound interesting to you, just shoot me a message. And really, all of you who are on that I have invited, if you could please message me on Facebook, or if you have my text, however you typically get in touch with me, and just tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rank your current health? And then if you had a magic wand, what would you change? Because I truly believe that peptide, and not to overpromise or anything like that, but peptides, they are the future of health. And they can do so many things. The stories, those of you who know what I'm dealing with my elderly parents, they are remembering where they are. They're remembering who they are. No nighttime accidents from my elderly toddlers. Yeah, Allie, I know we've been commiserating over the elderly parents. It has been an incredible game changer for my elderlies. Please reach out and let us know questions and anything that we can do to help. Any other questions before we pop off for the evening? Anne has started on a GLP-1 with another company, and would like to transition when your 6-month subscription ends. Would it be an easy transition? Yeah, so Kim and I actually, Kim and I have been on Zooms all day today helping people transition over. One of the things that we are hearing pretty much repeatedly is that these are a little bit more effective than what most people are on, which is nice because that's always going to save you money if you're using a lower dose. Oh, the peptide for bone on bone. Okay, so I've got and my husband's on below microdose for GLP-1. So for GLP-1, the microdose is 2.5. I have him on 1. He's taking like a little scooch of GLP, just enough to get that anti-inflammatory benefit. And oh boy, has his mood improved too. So that, and then glutathione. And he is, from what I understand, we need to be injecting the BPC 157 at the site of the hip instead of in the belly. So that's the next step. But that's all he's done so far, and his pain is vastly reduced. I mean, this poor dude, when we're getting to sit in the car, he lifts his leg and puts it in the car next because it hurts him so bad. And now he's just moving his leg right into the car. It's been really cool. And the TA1, so we've got incredible cancer risks all up and down my husband's entire side. He's like almost the last one standing with due to cancer. So we have everybody on the TA1, which is the immune system. If you're hypoimmune, it's going to bring your immune system back up to help combat. And when you are filling out that medical questionnaire, list everything that you've had, the surgeries, the medications, family history. Please be extremely transparent, because that is how the doctor is going to be able to help you get you in the right direction. Oh, Terry's asking, her husband has had head and neck cancer 5 years ago. He's been clear since. I mean, again, I like everyone to look at the TA1 and go through the medical intake and see if that is feasible. The doctor will tell us. Will tell you. They're not going to tell me. I'm not involved. The doctor will tell you what is medically feasible. Dawn is asking, what does it mean when you say you stack? So it's just the things that you take, Dawn, each day. So today I took GHKCU, TA1, and glutathione. So that's my stack for today.
Somebody asked about Parkinson's, and I just wanted to jump in because I just actually went down this a little bit recently. But BPC 157, TB 500, the GLPs are going to be amazing because they're anti-inflammatory. And, if they do have weight to lose, you could look at microdose or maybe even a weight loss dose. But also MOTS-C is another one. I'm thinking that that's a peptide that's on the docket for us to get very soon. And that would be a really good one. It's an incredible mitochondrial peptide. So there are peptides, yes, for that. And also, again, thymosin alpha 1, any autoimmune, like Jen said. Yeah.
It was the combining in one shot. So we don't recommend that because there are some peptides that will degrade the other peptides. So we are trying to keep them all in separate syringes, please. And thank you.
People, there are some companies that call it the glow stack. It's GHKCU and that BPC 157, TB 500. But guys, I'm going to tell you something that they are not telling you. GHKCU does not play well with other peptides. The efficacy does decrease if it's in there for a certain amount of time. I only know that because I'm very good friends with Dr. Jason Pensick. He is a peptide guru. I mean, he travels around the world and talks about this. So I had this conversation with him. I would highly recommend, if you want to do the glow stack, take them separate.
We do have another question that is a really good one, and it's from my friend Janine, who asks if there is liability of any kind. And the liability is all assumed by the doctors and the medical professionals, because ultimately we can say, oh, you should take this and try this and do this one, but it's the doctor that decides who tries what. And I think the other question somebody asked was, why are people denied? And I'll tell you why my mom was denied, and she is 87. For one, the one that she's taking has been great for her, but she was denied for microdose, and she is 87. She's had heart quintuple bypass. She has type 2 diabetes. She's got high blood pressure. Like, there was so much in the chart, and I'm sure the doctor was like, absolutely not. But what he did offer was a phone call. So, maybe to ask additional questions, you can get a phone call with the doctor to find out why you were denied. But I love that they deny people. I know that that sounds terrible, but it means that they are absolutely watching your medical questionnaire, your intake, and they will deny you. It's not that everyone gets peptide here, and that's not how it should be. People should be denied.
And I want to say too, if you guys are wanting to purchase more than one peptide, and at some point you probably will, because you're going to realize they're all pretty fantastic. You have to do them one at a time right now on the site, because each one has a different questionnaire, because it has different required questions depending on the formulation and what it's doing for your body, just so that you know that. And there's a lot of HIPAA compliance too. So if you start the questionnaire and you really want that peptide and you're done with the health questionnaire, stay there and check out, because if you go off of that page with HIPAA compliance, you have to start over. They won't keep any kind of data like that in their system if you're hopping off and then coming back on.
Terry, absolutely. Terry said, Dr. Fox said, denial shows medical integrity. Amen, sir. But I'd love to end on that, because I think that's a really good note to sign off on. But please message me. So tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are with your health, and what you're loving, and what you would love to change about your health. And then I have a friend asking what pricing is like. So I'm going to say this. That's in a private message. We are not the most expensive, and we're not the least expensive, but you do not want to be trying. And I know this friend who asked this question, who already prescribes peptides in her business. You do not want to be chasing the lowest price, because that's when you're into that research only peptides and not for human consumption peptides, right? So we're right there in the middle with the highest quality of peptides.
I'm going to say one more thing, because I put it in the chat: FSA, HSA, Afterpay, Klarna, PayPal, Pay Later, Ellie Pay. So if you're worried about the cost, I take so many peptides, I never pay full price. I always break it down. I like the pay in 4 by PayPal. So every 2 weeks, you get charged a fourth of that total. If it's a 2-month subscription, a fourth of it, a fourth of it, a fourth of it, a fourth of it. So there's a lot of ways to break it down.
Thank you again for sticking with us through this whole presentation. I look forward to hearing from all of you. I will follow up and send everyone who requested info about this webinar. You will be receiving the replay. So we'll get that out hopefully tonight, but it will probably be tomorrow, as it's getting kind of late for us here on the East Coast. Joey, thank you so much. Kimberly, thank you. That was both of you absolutely incredible. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of you showing up to learn more about something that can truly optimize your health. Have an amazing night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.